Okay, so here I am on Fletch, outside of the Mechanar at Tempest Keep, getting ready to put a group together to go in and tank my first normal dungeon. You remember I got started with tanking by off-tanking Karazhan, and I've been back since and got a really great bunch of upgrades. Didn't record that particular session, but I'll do an update video for Fletch so you can see what I got. So on this one, thought gonna do 5 dungeons or 4 dungeons, gonna do all of Tempest Keep and Steam Vaults and see what I get. Got nothing, but it's worth taking a look at to see how I tanked these as a fresh 70 tank. Okay, so I've studied tanking a bit. What I want to do is give these guys something to aim for, give them a skull. It gives them a focus, and I'll try and keep a skull up as often as I can. I've got a key bind on my mouse, one of my side mouse buttons, to be able to do skull and cross. And as a warrior tank, pulling back is a big thing, not piling in. So I've line of sight pulled them here, and first pull goes okay. Now these robots, these things are kind of linked. Got to make sure I don't pull extras here, but he seems to be alone there. So shoot him, run back, line of sight. He's going to come to this corner. These guys cast a charge which does additional damage when you hit them. It's a good idea to interrupt that. So I'm going to try and go around this corner to get these, but I pull just by being there. That's quite a big aggro range. I pull this guy. He's doing his little knockback, and the mobs to my left I think are about to patrol in and pull as well. As you can see, I'm just devastated, and I'm spamming those. Now I've got to try and gather up these mobs. So I tab through them. Devastate, devastate. As much as I can, shield slam them, or shield bash. Tabbed round, everyone's on me. Now just keep them on me. I'll drop the odd thunderclap. You know, I just think for myself as a usually as a guy doing DPS, I'm going to be happy with that on the whole. These guys can see I'm an undergeared tank, and they're being careful with their threat too. So we're going to go around here in Mechanar. There's a mini boss on the right hand side. The big guy on the right hand side over here drops a crystal, which is half of a key to a cache down a little further ahead. So I tend to always leave that, let somebody else do it. But he will drop a blue crystal, and we will also encounter just after the first boss a similar mini boss who drops the second half of the crystal. So that's them down. I always think it's good to, obviously you clear these up here, but there's a few at the top of the stairs you want to get. There's also an arcane construct patrolling up and down those stairs. Sometimes it's a good idea to get him too. I can't quite remember. I don't think we did. I think we went straight in for the mini boss. The mini-boss on the top of these stairs is a joke. He doesn't have any real abilities apart from a poison spray that cause any problem, and any half-decent group can heal through that. So these guys do their thing. Oh, we got a loss of threat, taunted him back. The little guys tear around. They're non-elite, but they blow themselves up and in some sort of arcane explosion, and it does a lot of damage. Because people can stray into that zone. You know, casters have a tendency, if they pull threat, to backpedal without looking what's behind them, and that can always pull these, and in fact the construct that's patrolling up and down the stairs. That whirlwind can hurt if you're non-plate wearer. This is all practice for Tempest Keep the Eye, where there's a lot of similar abilities and similar mobs going on. So I'm going down to look at this guy. He's not there, he's patrolled all the way back, so not going to wait for that, just going to dive in and get this guy. Okay, pull him. We face him away from the raid because he does this poison spray. I'm not sure if facing him away will actually change that, because I think he sprays it anyway, whatever. They also have them razors that they throw around, that spinning razor on his left hand. There's that construct. He's made his way up here now. I'm just about going to get him before he reaches his colleagues there, I think. Yeah, they didn't pull, so we can get him alone. This paladin in this group clearly doesn't know a great deal about melee DPS, because he prefers for some reason to stand in front of the mobs next to me, clouting them. No one's ever told him, it seems, that really you've got to get behind them so they can't parry. So anyway, he carries on. We've got an enhancement shaman doing a bit better. He dies a lot, this paladin. Look at him swinging his two-hander right next to me. So these mobs summon these two ads. We're going to go straight for healers, so got to go and try and get them back if we can. It is difficult for warriors, this, especially under gear. When things get a bit hairy like this, you tend to find that your DPS do more DPS to try and resolve the situation rather than backing off and letting you get control again. But it worked out. Now I'm going to try and get this guy, I think. I'm not messing about here. So I'm going to pull him back, run up the stairs, so everything will come. Alright, then go back down and get him. I can't get a handle on these little guys. They just stand and cast wherever they find themselves able to do so. And so, because they're non-elite, I'm hoping that we can get on them. And, oof, nearly down. Several people are down. They're just standing in that AoE. I mean, I'm getting the prio healing, of course, but you can't just stand with like 4 of them doing AoE. throwing their little arcane bombs around and exploding. They're terrible mobs, really. For any tank, they're awful. So next I'll be grabbing these guys again. See, look, they're not. I can't pull them. They're not going to come back. They're just going to keep doing that nonsense. Now the construct has come. That shaman has pulled him. I've taunted him. I'm going to concentrate on him now. I guess really I should have pulled him back across to them. And I'm down. And so here's the wipe. Here's the first wipe. Sorry guys. Yeah, that happened because I didn't control that situation properly. Okay, so first I'll be pulling this construct along this time. No ads. The Cache of the Legion is a little statuette just behind him there, behind those pink boxes that are stacked 3 high. Just ahead of the lift, through that circle ahead is the lift to the next floor. And the other 2 bosses. So I just told the group I'm going to be pulling the boss to the stairs. They didn't really understand what I meant by that. The most effective way to do this boss and avoid all these orb that he casts around him, which are hellish for melee, is to pull him to the bottom of the stairs. Now he won't come up the stairs, but he is tankable at the bottom of the stairs. And the idea is that the tank does that and everybody else nukes him from the stairs. Unfortunately my group didn't get that, and they decided to stand down below anyway, but it worked out. It worked okay. It certainly worked okay for me because I avoided the orbs. I'm not sure that Paladin did, but you'll see in a minute exactly what I mean by that. So we're just finishing off this last mob pack ahead of the boss, and then I actually do forget about the second mini boss and run off, but once we've done this boss, so I told them all to just wait. I'm going to go around this corner, and at a good moment I'm going to pull the boss with a gunshot as usual. He's over there. Mechano-Lord Capacitus, and look, the mini boss walks in like, go away, and they stood together, so that's not a good moment to pull the boss because it may well pull the mini boss as well. So here we go, here comes the pull, leg it, so off I go. Boss has started emoting and I'm running off around the corner, and they're all stood there. They somehow got the idea that, and he stopped because they've started attacking, and I'm just trying to get the threat and keep pulling him backwards. There come the orbs. He's coming now, he's coming. I'm thinking, when are you guys going to run up the stairs? Look, and both So Zort, my healer, my good old questing partner Zortitia on this occasion, she's doing the right thing. She knows what to do. These other guys, not so much. There's my paladin friend stood right next to me in front of him. Shaman's doing the same thing. Maybe they think that's the tactic. Stand in front of him, you won't get hit by the orbs. Not true. But he's going down pretty sharpish, and I'm mostly avoiding orb damage. Our pala friend, boom, not so lucky. So, oh no, that was the shaman, not the pala. He's moved off to the side. He might have more joy there, but no, he's standing in those things. Drops the mace. It's a nice one for healers. So that's the first boss, Mechano-Lord Capacitus, and we'll now go and do the next mini boss. Okay, so the first thing he did when we arrived there was slope off up the stairs, but here he comes. I'm going to pull him. Wait till he gets past those mobs on the left hand side, and here we go. Similar to the first mini boss, a little more dangerous this guy. You can see he doesn't have the saws, but he does have, he enrages like that, and then he does this thing called jackhammer, which is pretty unsurvivable. And as you can see, Deadly Boss Mod says run away, because he won't chase anyone, he'll just do it around him. And our paladin friend there didn't know that. Says oops, so he's dead again. So let's just keep that up. Yeah, he's got the poison spray and Deadly Boss mods if you have it, or Big Wigs if you got that, should tell you he's going to do the jackhammer and run away. Doing more damage on the enrage, you can see there's jackhammer. Run away. So yeah, I still got a good threat on him. He's coming back every time. And he goes down. So there's a little bit of shenanigans about who had the key, but now you loot the second part of the key from him. Somebody got it, and then you can, one person needs to have both parts, then you click it, they turn into the key, and we're going to go around the corner here, kill the two mobs outside the lift, and then loot the cache of the Legion, which is on the left hand side. Okay, so last couple of mobs ahead of the lifts, these guys knock you into the air. And we've got them down now, someone will loot that. Cache of the Legion. Good fire robes of annihilation, very nice for warlocks and other casters. And off we go upstairs, where we're going to clear the room ahead of the second boss. And then a gauntlet run into the last boss. Right, so time to pull the second boss, Nethermancer Serpethrea. This is a hell of a boss. She summons up fire elementals. She's all about fire. You've got to kite around the room. The elementals will move slowly towards a random player. That player's got to run away, keep out of the fire. They'll stop eventually and do a fire damage AoE, and you've got to stay out of that as well. So it's about trying to get hits on her until she dies and avoid the fire. For me, it's just a case of keeping aggro on her and tanking her around the room in a way that keeps the fire trails manageable. She is going to target some melee players here. Pretty sure our paladin friend manages to aggro her and get nuked, doesn't move. I get stunned, she goes for him, he's down. So I pick her up and keep tanking around in a nice big sort of circular movement, squarey, oblong. Not a circle, but round and round we go. And as long as, I think it's a good-ish fight for casters, not great for healers. As long as they know that she's on the move, they can time what they're doing. And when she goes down, these elementals will despawn. That's pretty dangerous with two of them, but I managed to pull her between. And there she goes. Bosh. And she drops a good ass offhand for casters. So now we're gonna heal up and we're gonna head for the gauntlet into the last boss. This gauntlet is a pain in the backside. There is shrinking going on with some of them. There is blowing you up into the sky from these mobs. There's no way for a warrior tank to really get threat on all of them except for charging in as soon as you see them, thunderclapping, and then tab devastating. If your big taunt, 5 mob taunt is available, then you could use that, but you'll only get it once. So you just got to do your best with this, and then get to the last boss, buff up, heal up, mana up, and then take him on. This guy's on a timer. You can run him, but he also aggroes after a certain number of, probably about 30 seconds, I'd say, or a minute. So I'm just going to tank him where I meet him. He's going to mind control a raid member randomly every so often. He's going to summon ads up. I think the trick is just to nuke him and try as best you can to control the one player that gets MC'd. Here comes these ghostly ads he summons up. Pretty much ignore them. I feared them, which gave us a bit of a breathing space. And he's going down pretty damn quick. So the elemental's gone off to engage with them. When he dies, we'll have to finish them off, I think. Yeah. So nothing dropped for a tank there. and then one of those cards, Ace of Blessings. So finish off the mobs, and we're done. Okay, so in normal Mechanar there are 3 tank items to look for. Firstly, from Mechano-Lord Capacitus, there is the Thorium Weave Cloak. It's a good, solid tanking cloak with 35 stamina and a bunch of armour. Second, from Nethermancer Serpethrea, there is the Jade Skull Breastplate, quite clearly a warrior tanking chest. And from Pathaleon The Calculator, the last boss, we were looking for Dathromar's Ring of Defense. None of them dropped, but that's what to look for if you're going in there as a protection warrior. Is Warcraft Dad?
Oh crap.